I got to go with the big bulldog. If Scherzer's healthy, I think the Nationals are going to win. So, but what a series!
It's crazy.
Yeah,
All road team.
Yeah, it's the best time of year for sports.
Yeah.
If you're into all the sports, but it's certainly it's been good. It doesn't rank with the Royals. It's back-to-back appearances, but it's still pretty good.
Marcus Garrett, as a point guard, I know it wasn't against Big 12 competition, but in general, his improvements.
Well, I think that he's probably more of a point than what I've given him credit for the last couple of years. When you got Devontae and obviously Vaughn last year, he had many opportunities, and with Q last year, I do wish I'd have played him more on the ball last year, and it still remains to be seen how much he will this year, because we may have to play him some of the floor too. But I think he's a good player, and he's always been a jack of all trades type guy. But I think that we're seeing that he can actually run a ball club.
Is he about as versatile as the guys you've had?
If you're going to talk about defending four positions, and I think so. I think he probably is about as versatile as we've had. We've had, Travis Relaford was a versatile guy and stuff like that, but Marcus is better with the ball than Travis was. And the one thing about Travis, he wasn't a great shooter, but he thought he was, which goes a long ways. And Marcus has to get that same feeling.
Is he close? It looked like the other night he believed stepping into those. They were open and he was going to make them.
I think his confidence level and the numbers each day show that he's a much improved shooter. I mean, when you look at this statistically, what he's doing now compared to what he did at drills last year, stuff like that, he's a much improved shooter. So I don't think that we need to base his play on whether or not he makes shots, but what a bonus that'll be if you have to guard him everywhere on the court.
How's it been with the big men in practice, especially defensively this week?
We practiced Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'd say it was okay. We scrimmaged on Monday, and Mitch in 10 minutes made 5 threes against the bigs, so it wasn't exceptional. We may play somebody that actually shoots it as well as Mitch, but I think there's certainly an emphasis on it, and that's got everybody's attention.
How do they? Is it just reps? How do they work on it? I mean,
I think you work on it. I think a lot of it is reps. I think a lot of it you can spend some time working on sliding your feet and things like that. But the bottom line is you have to. As your man moves, or as the ball moves, you always have to be adjusting. And what happens, our guys watch, and when they watch, then the man catches it in areas where they can't get back to him. So those are things that comes much more natural for a guard, obviously, or guys that played on the perimeter. But these guys, I mean, they can do it. It's just it's going to take some time. We're not going to be great defensively until we can figure that out.
Sure.
You talked a little bit about Jalen's confidence on Hawk Talk. In what way can that be kind of an asset to you on the court this year?
Well, it'll. I think he's a gamer as much as anybody that we've had come in here in a while. I mean, I think he's going to be the one guy that jumps a lot higher on game night and probably shoot a higher percentage on game night. And based on what people have told me, he's always been that kind of guy. But the bottom line is, it's the same thing with him. If he can't keep somebody in front of him too, he'll have a hard time playing. But if he can, and if Tristan can, and CB can, once we get Isaiah healthy, their opportunity to play will probably be, in that 4 spot. So we one of those guys need to come through for sure, and hopefully 2 of them will.
You may have kind of answered this, but are you optimistic that you can get where you want defensively playing 2 bigs?
Yes, but a lot depends maybe on who you play against. I would think that our team, we worked on trapping the post and things like that. That's a big trap. I mean, there's some things that we can do with it, but it's harder to do if you're playing, a 4-man or a 5-man that can stretch it. So I think that we can become a really good defensive team. I think we can be a better rim protecting team and things like that. But if you really defend 4 spots real well and break down on one, then doesn't take much to make you look bad. So, but I do think we can be a good defensive team. I do play in 2 bigs or play.
Who do you think you'll go with tomorrow?
I'm surprised it took that long to ask who the starters are going to be for
he
an
was
exhibition
sweating.
game.
You know he was sweating.
Well, we'll go with Devon and DeMarcus and Oach, and then Doak and David is good. I'm going to give David a chance to start since Silvio started last game.
What strides have you seen David kind of take so far leading up to the season?
I think David going into this fall was our most improved player, and now I'd say that, you know, honestly, David or maybe Marcus has been our most improved player. But you know, he's shooting the ball. David's a good shooter. You know, he made that one the other night that looked really good, and he missed a 3 that also looked pretty good, even though that's not the shot that he needs to be taking many of. But I think he's a much improved guy. But you know, that's a big body to have to guard a guard, and that's what we're going to have to do because he's obviously going to have to if Dave's in the game. And to be honest with you, he's probably better at doing it than Silvio, even when Silvio's in the game. So I've told those guys repeatedly, unless we're going to play 3-5 men, these are the areas you got to improve on, and David's a big key to that. But I think his confidence level and everything is so much higher than it was this time last year.
Is it situational when you're okay with him taking that 3 and when you're not? I mean,
yeah, when we're way ahead. Yeah, it's very situational. Okay, if you're up 25 plus, and I think it's actually an okay shot. So, and hopefully he understands
it's
it.
the easy one to get.
Are you getting worried about Moss?
A little bit, yeah, I'm a little bit. Hopefully he can go a little bit today, but I am not from a long-term health standpoint, but just for him being able to help us immediately because you know this is all new to him, and he'll be nervous and those things that everybody would be if you just throw you out onto the wolves and hadn't had a chance to prep for it. So yeah, I'm getting nervous. He needs to play this week and. I mean, at least be out there some, and then you know have 3 or 4 practices strung together, so that way he can at least be confident going into Tuesday. And if you can't do that, then chances of him playing very much aren't very real, even if he does feel better.
He's out tomorrow.
I've been told we're going to wait and see.
Okay.
So hopefully he plays. A little
Sure.
bit, but I've been
Is
told
it the same on Mitch? He'll play.
Yeah, Mitchell played tomorrow. Yeah, and Mitchell played. Then we'll decide later.
Talked to Brennan a little bit, and his evolution kind of on your staff. He's kind of the most tenured guy there from walk on to coach. And just kind of talk about him a little bit, what he's provided for you for maybe the last decade.
Boy, we're really struggling for content. We're struggling for content, aren't we?
Season's about to
I
open.
got an open show. I got to film now, coach.
Well, you know, KT's been the one with us the longest, but I guess Brendan is second, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's been great. You know, he was a very heady player, even though he didn't play much. But Brendan was always tough. He started more fights than anybody on our team. People don't know that. He didn't finish any of them, but he started a lot. But he was good in practice, and it meant so much for him for us to do well because he loves this place so much. But Brendan's a good coach. He can't coach per se, but he's going to be a good coach because he's very detail oriented and a hard worker. And, you know, he's a self starter. So, you know, when the time's right for him to move on, I mean, he'll be terrific. But yeah, he's kind of been a fixture around here. I actually love having him around.
Did he fight the big guys or the little guys?
Ask him about the Morse twins. He tried to. I think he tried to fight one of them, and he realized he was going against 2 whenever he did that, and that was not a bright move. But I think he learned a valuable lesson. One that maybe he wasn't near as big and bad as what he thought he was.
Bill, yesterday with the NCAA news with image and likeness, did you have any reaction to that?
Yeah, I've said before. I think it's a good step. The way I read that was definitely a much softer stance than what the law in California was, and so I think it'll probably fall somewhere in the middle. But I do think it's a good first step, and I think it's great that the Board of Governors feel it's important to try to get out in front of this as much as you can at a late date and not waste any more time. So I think everybody should be commended for that. And certainly, I do believe something positive will come out of it. But I think there's a pretty wide range or spectrum on what that positive could be. You know, we go from limiting to unlimited, and there's a huge differential when you talk about things like that.